I never thought my marriage would fall apart in such a brutal, stomach-twisting way. I genuinely believed I understood the woman I had vowed my life to. For 6 years, Lisa and I shaped a world that, at least from the outside, seemed steady, affectionate, full of laughter and a sense of safety. But little by little, the warmth between us faded. At first, I blamed long hours, daily monotony, the quiet drift people warn you can sneak into any long-term relationship. She pulled away. Her phone practically fused to her fingers. She guarded the screen like it contained classified intel. Late nights out became routine. Excuses multiplied, and whenever I gently asked about it, she would shrug, chuckle, call me paranoid, and move right along. Still, something gnawed at me, a quiet itch of doubt I tried to smother. But the signals only grew sharper. The sudden passion for the gym, even though she had never cared about working out. The strange cologne lingering on her clothes after she supposedly visited her sister. Those private smiles at messages I never got to see. Everything clicked together one Friday evening. She repeated the same story, that she was sleeping over at her sister's place. My instincts told me not to swallow that lie again. So I phoned her sister, pretending Lisa had forgotten something at home. The bafflement in her voice told me everything. Lisa, she's not here. My stomach dropped. I grabbed my keys and left. The steering wheel slick under my hands. I didn't have a real plan, just a desperate need for answers. Then I remembered her gym bag, untouched in the trunk of her car. If she spent so much time at the gym, why was her stuff still here? I drove straight there. She often claimed her car was in that parking lot, but she never seemed to be inside. I scanned the area, and that's when I spotted her. My wife stepping into a luxury hotel across the street, walking with bold familiarity beside a man I'd never seen. The sight blurred everything. Rage, heartbreak, disbelief, all crashing at once. I could have stormed in, made a scene, shouted for the truth, but confrontation wasn't enough. I needed certainty. I needed the full picture. So I watched. 2 hours later, they walked out together. Lisa's hair mussed, her skin glowing, her expression softer than it had been around me for months. The man rested his hand on the small of her back, and she leaned into him like he had earned that place. Then she kissed him. Slow, confident, intimate. Not an accident or a slip in judgment, an ongoing affair. I photographed everything, not out of venom, but because I needed undeniable reality. The next morning, she behaved as if nothing at all had happened. A kiss on my cheek, fresh coffee brewing, a cheerful tune as she moved through the kitchen. It nearly made me nauseous. While she pretended to be the devoted partner, I started uncovering who the man was. I had photos of him, his car, even the hotel he favored with my wife. What I found made my blood turn to ice. He wasn't single, not separated, not widowed. He was married, his wife 8 months pregnant. That changed the entire equation. I could have confronted Lisa right then, hurled the evidence at her like an explosion. But she had already poisoned our home, and now I knew she was helping destroy someone else's. 2. I wasn't letting that rot stay hidden. I contacted the man's wife. She doubted me at first until I sent the pictures. The silence that followed was suffocating. Then came the small, shattered sobs. "I knew," she whispered, "but I kept hoping I was wrong." In that moment, I realized this wasn't just cheating. It was cruelty, negligence, collateral damage bleeding into 2 households. That night, I acted normal. I let Lisa think her lies still held power. But I left my laptop open on the dining table. Photos lined up on the screen, impossible for her to miss. I was pouring myself a drink when she walked past. She froze instantly, eyes going wide, color draining from her face. What is this?" she whispered. I remained calm, too calm. "Exactly what you think it is." She tried pretending she didn't understand, but her shaking hands betrayed every truth she wanted to hide. I watched her fall apart before I spoke again. "Did you know he has a pregnant wife?" Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. "Oh," I added, rising slowly, "and she knows now." Panic flared across her expression. You told her?" "I didn't just tell her," I said, stepping closer, my voice cold and steady. "I sent her everything, every last photo." Tears streamed down her cheeks, but they meant nothing. She wasn't crying out of remorse, only out of being exposed. I grabbed my jacket and headed for the door. "Enjoy the chaos you created," I said, without giving her a backward glance. And just like that, I left her standing there, speechless, trembling, finally forced to face the wreckage she had built on lies.